Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Houston Fieldhouse here in Troy, New York, campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, for some ECAC hockey action. It's the first of two final weekend games here for the RPI Engineers, taking on the 7th-ranked Harvard Crimson. Joining me, as always, is Dan Fridgen, and Coach, RPI looking to finish the season strong here. A couple of tough opponents in Harvard and then Dartmouth tomorrow, though the Engineers did come away with a road win against Dartmouth earlier this year.
Yeah, and they had an overtime loss to Harvard 4-3, so we're looking for a good game here. Actually, RPI looking to redeem themselves in their last home weekend of the season.
Tomorrow, of course, will be senior day for RPI, but before that, it's Harvard, a team they came back against. They were down 3-0 in the second period back in December, and came back to tie the game with 6 minutes left in regulation. Maddie Peterson scoring the tying goal, but 19 seconds into OT, it was the junior defender Kyra Willoughby scoring the game-winning goal for Harvard. Crimson are coming in with a 21-7-2 lead in the all-time series. They are 19 wins on the season, 7 losses, 1 tie, 14-5-1 in the league. They are wearing crimson today with black and white trim, and their top line is a very dangerous one.
Yeah, I see that line has 2 of the top 10 scorers in ECAC conference hockey.
107 points combined for the top Harvard line, which features Ann Bloomer, Kristen Della Rovere, and Becca Gilmore, the team's top scorer. Looking for a little thread the needle pass there for Gilmore's off the mark. It's going to be icing on Harvard early here. Just 37 seconds in, we'll send the draw back down.
Harvard currently sits in second place behind Yale with 44.5 points. And I guess this weekend they only need 1.5 points in order to secure home ice for the quarterfinal round.
Yeah, home ice would be, of course, for the to finish in the top 4 is what that's saying there. Yep. They are still trying to catch Yale. They have a decent chance to do it, as Yale has some stiff competition tonight. We get a puck out of play. Of course, with 3 points for a win now, it makes for a lot more different possibilities. Used to be in the final weekend, Coach, if you had a 2-point lead, it was pretty simple what you had to do in the last couple of games if you're Yale to clinch. But right now, you can get 6 in 2 days and jump leapfrog there if you're Harvard.
Yeah. How do you end up with 0.5?
Because there's no shootouts on the women's side. Okay. So when there's a tie in women's hockey in the league for ECAC hockey, they just split the three points right in half. They chop that point.
1.5, 1.5.
Right, so it's a little bit odd, right? On the men's side, there's a shootout afterwards,
yep.
So there's a 2 and a 1 to give.
Right.
But they don't want to lose any points, I guess, is the reasoning. Anyway, Lauren Severson trying to jump on that puck, but back the other way come the Crimson. There's a wrist shot off the glove maybe there of Amanda Rampado. Rampado 8 wins, 20 losses on the season, no ties, 230 goals against, 932 save percentage. Those are both very good numbers for Rampado, the junior from Stony Creek, Ontario.
No question, she has a great save percentage.
At the other end, we'll get a chance to talk about Lindsay Reed in a bit. She's making her 9th appearance, 277 goals against, 906 save percentage. She'll get a chance to handle the puck here out of New Vernon, New Jersey. Went to the Hotchkiss School. That one passed just off the mark for Hannah Chorsky, who, if that name at all sounds familiar, she's the daughter of Tom Chorsky, who won a Stanley Cup with the New Jersey Devils back in 1995. Chorsky, I recently found out, too, he was the first Mr. Hockey in the state of Minnesota. You know I'm excited about that, Coach. Shot right on there from Julia Blitz. Out of Potomac, Maryland is Blitz. RPI on the attack here. Lily Fries-Hansen, fresh off her trip to the Olympics, flips it back to the point for Hannah Price, and her shot was turned away by Reed. Lily trying to find her stick, gets knocked away again, and she'll go off to the bench here as the puck has moved into the RPI zone. Gilmore trying to give it off to Bloomer, junior from Chicago. Steered into the slot, poked away by Larson, but it will leave the zone. Willoughby back to get it for Harvard. Della Rovere snapped around the Harvard zone. They still have to deal with Fries Hansen's loose stick on the ice as it's finally flipped deep by Della Rovere.
Should mention Della Rovere. She's 4th in points in the ECAC with 26.
Dynamic center on this top line for the Crimson. And Gilmore recently, or currently I should say, riding a 9-game point streak.
She's first in goals.
Yeah, just having a
she's
heck of a run.
Yeah.
18 points in 9 games. As it's moved across the RPI blue line, Harvard is changing. Price will use the wall, and it was deflected, so no icing here. Race for the puck. Mara Wagner trying to get on it. Spun into the middle of the ice. Moved ahead quickly by Taze Thompson. Nice move by Thompson into the slot. Although Delaney Weiss does a good job to stick with her in the end, and I think she forced her off her shot there.
Yeah, she was looking to put that puck off the wall and hopefully sidestep the check, but great job defensively.
Severson has it poked away. Now Tegan Dalby throws it off of Severson's foot. It'll be turned around by Willoughby. Weiss up the boards. Backtracking is Brooke Jovanovic. She'll make a move into the zone. It'll trickle in on goal, and Rampado will cover.
Hey, don't forget to visit the official online store for RPI Athletics at rpifanshop.com.
Face-off, push to the corner. Taylor Zaherney over to get it. Behind for Erbanova. Bouncing puck at the half wall. Maddie Papineau trying to move it into the zone. Get some help there from Ellie Kaiser, although she fanned on the shot. And it's back out to center. Zaherney, nice battle win there. Erbinova lost it. Hollins. She's tied up by Erbinova. Zaherney trying to clear, but it's going to be easily kept in at the point by Emma Buckles. One of the co-captains for these Crimson. Along with Becky Dutton, who is not between the pipes, but she is dressed tonight. Harvard dressing 3 goalies, Reed, Dutton, and Emily Davidson. But it is Reed who gets the nod. Now a chance for a 2-on-1. Hollins waiting, shooting, she scores right under the bar. It's 1-0 Harvard.
I don't think she realized she had put that puck top shelf short side underneath the bar by her reaction. She was a little late to get her arms up, but real nice shot using the other player with her as a decoy. Here's another look at it. Just gets it underneath the crossbar for the first goal of the game.
Holland's 4th goal of the year, sophomore from Uxbridge, Ontario. Makes it 1-0 Crimson here.
Really well-placed shot.
Yeah, it didn't look like Rampado had, was cheating at all toward the pass. It was just a really good shot. Larson waiting, or feeding ahead, looking for Phillip. And now Price will start the breakout here. Pulling up in the corner. Mia Biotti for Della Rovere. That's broken up. Really the first chance of the game.
Yeah. And I mean, she was on a pretty good angle too. being a right shot on her forehand. Looked like Rampado was crouched down a little bit, giving up that top shelf.
McCutcheon with a pick there, threw it through the middle. Taylor Walters just a little late to arrive, or she might have had a chance at that. Also had Fries Hansen lurking in the middle, but just couldn't get on the end of it either. Kept in by the skate of Weiss. Now it's popped back out to neutral. Dalby trying to make a move, lost the puck, thrown back into the slot. Taylor Walters, and now Wagner just off the bench down low for McCutcheon. Delarovere slips away from the forechecking McCutcheon. Now it's touched out to center ice. Jovanovic had it for a moment. She likes that toe drag, and she pulls another one off there, handing it off. Gilmore, centering pass off of Rampado. Thompson lost it in the circle. Brianna Jenke trying to clear, hit a body. And it'll be picked up by Erbinova. Zaherny ahead, chopped all the way down by Jenke, going to be icing on RPI. 11:34 to go in the first period. 1-0 Harvard on top. Shots are even at two apiece.
RPI looking to get some offense going. They really haven't had much sustained pressure in the Harvard zone as of yet. Harvard have been doing a pretty good job alleviating the forecheck and getting clean breakouts.
Clean win back to the point for Marina McDonald. There are two McDonalds on this Harvard decor, not related. Paige Lester, freshman from Oakville, Ontario, shoots it in. Price off for Larson. Now Severson and Papineau. Maddie Papineau into the zone, trying to slip it through for Kaiser, but she was blocked off by McDonald. And now Chorsky sent in over the top by Lester, who goes off on a change. Puck eludes Kaiser there. Now Hollins, the goal scorer, trying to look ahead for Davidson Adams. That's broken up. Price will try the far side again where it's kept in. Buckles a shot, deflects wide. Ellie Bayard got her stick on that. Freshman from Medfield, Mass. Now Bayard again. Sent back to the line. Buckles catches it in her skates, takes a slap shot, and that's blocked and sent down by Kaiser. It's going to be icing on RPI, but a good block by Ellie, sophomore from Westmont, Illinois. She's still feeling it.
Yeah, she is. That's a pretty good shot to take in the shin pad. Larson having a little trouble breaking out there cleanly.
So Kaiser has to, of course, stay on there on the icing, but she's looked to shaking off that puck she took to the leg. This hits the linesman on the near side. That's Matthew White. RPI will send it down again, this time legally. Delarovere kicks it to herself, but then loses out to Dalby. Emma Buckles again. RPI fans might remember her older brother Matt played for Cornell. Middle part of the decade. Dalby fires one wide. Comes down in the corner. Who wants it? Nia Phillip. Back to the slot. Weiss, a shot and a save. And the RPI attack with its best chance so far. Good puck movement there by the Engineers.
Yeah, nice shot. She could have walked in a little closer, too. She had the space to walk in a little bit more. And it looked like Wagner had gone looking for a pass as opposed to getting in front of the net, get some traffic in front of the goaltender.
Delaney, one of the seniors that'll be honored tomorrow. One of the 5. Weiss out of Lake Forest, Illinois. Scored her first career goal earlier this year for the Engineers. Battled some injury in her career, and of course RPI didn't participate in ice hockey last year, men's or women's. Look at the RPI bench, and Brian Vines in his 5th year as the head coach. Filled the staff about a month ago with Shelby Perry, former Colgate Raider. That's what she has in common with the Coach Fridgen here.
That's right.
Very successful Colgate teams that Perry was a part of. Went to the national championship game.
And one of her co-workers at Colgate, he's over at Union now as the head coach. So when you have success as a program, your assistants move on.
Happens everywhere, including the NFL, where my Vikings picked up the LA Rams offensive coordinator to be their head coach.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Kevin O'Connell?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there.
I wonder what the ratio is for offensive coordinators getting the head job.
To defensive?
Yeah.
I got to think it's pretty close. I think it goes in waves. I think for a while people get hot on offensive guys, and then defensive coordinators get a lot of play in a row. I don't know. I have nothing to back up that statement. Anyway, here's Wagner trying to make a move. Just makes sense in my brain. Jovanovic. Nice job to hold on to the puck. She'll center it. Nice toe save by Rampado on Thompson. Back into the slot. Janke gets good position defensively there to break it up, and now Wagner will flip one on goal and be held out to by Reed. Good toe stop, Rampado.
Real nice getting her pad
on
over
the
there
shot by
and
Thompson,
the toe.
yeah.
Those low shots can be evasive at times. Here's another look at it. She's already down.
Yeah.
There it is. Just kicks it out.
Face-off win for the Crimson. Played by Marina McDonald. And now Dominique Petrie. And an offside whistle.
Yeah, that puck kind of went underneath the stick of Lester. Kind of a missed pass.
Face-offs are 5-4 Harvard early on. Shots are 4-4. Puck finally comes loose, out to neutral ice, turned around in a hurry. This is Sydney Sorkin, the extra D for Harvard tonight, out of Chicago, Illinois. Good stick lift. Puck went sent back to the point for McDonald. Now Sorkin, she'll line up a wrister. Rebound, pops loose, and we're going to get a penalty out of this. Could be a hold or a hook. We'll send Harvard on the power play. That's one of the things the Engineers do not want to do a lot of tonight, as Harvard's power play is potent.
Yeah, their power play, they're currently second in the ECAC at 25%, fifth in the nation at 24.49%.
So Weiss off for hooking. 7:28 to go.
However,
in the first period. Yeah.
On the other hand,
however, right? Coach knows. He knows.
ECAC's number one in the. RPI number one in the ECAC.
Number one penalty kill in the league, and it's fallen off just a bit, but it was riding pretty high. I think at one point this season it was as high as 94% RPI's PK. It's down about 91 and change, and they score. Gilmore, of course. Just as I say that, makes it 2-0 on a power play goal.
Looks like they've got a scouting report on Rampado. Both goals have gone high.
High
Over the
glove?
glove, yeah.
Yeah. She just got moving a little bit too far the other way.
Wow, did that hit the back? The back pipe? It must have. I
Yeah.
thought it hit both pipes. Guess not.
I think it hit the back post, yeah.
That one?
Oh.
Oh, he's right.
Yeah, I don't know if that ever went in, but
I thought it hit both posts from here.
yeah.
But then the referee's standing right there, and I'm thinking,
Yeah,
okay.
he must know. I'll be interested to look at that between periods. Obviously, it won't mean anything, as you can't review
after the puck drops.
right after the next face-off. So, yeah, I think it went in, but I'd be interested to see the top-down view, which I can't look at till later. So, anyway, 2-0 Harvard, a power play goal for Becca Gilmore, her 18th of the year. I'm going to whistle it offside. Crimson 1 for 1 on the power play. Harvard, for just the second time this year, have gone 2 games without picking up a win. They lost to Quinnipiac on February 12th, 2-1, and then tied St. Lawrence on the 14th, 3-3. The only other time this year they've gone 2 games without a win is when they were swept in a 2-game series by Minnesota Duluth back in December, January. So they've been a very consistent team.
Well, they've won their 12th Ivy League championship this season.
There's a walking right in there, almost unabated, was Chorsky looking for the 3rd Harvard goal of the period. That doesn't go.
And they beat BC 5-4 in the Beanpot for their 15th Beanpot championship on February 8th.
First since 2015. First Ivy League title since 2015. They went 9-1 in the Ivy League play, which is just league games against only Ivy League opponents. So much better against the Ivies than they were against the non-Ivies.
Yes.
Of course, the Quinnipiacs, the Clarksons, and St. Lawrences of the world. Colgates, for that matter. But it just shows how strong this league is.
Yeah.
Ivies and otherwise.
And, of course, Katie Stone's done a tremendous job in her 27th year.
Long shot from the point by Price is saved. Another one goes wide from Capel. Taylor Larson throws it off the end wall. McDonald trying to clear it out and does. No, it's kept in by Capel. Now it's carried out by Jovanovic. Ended up losing the puck there. She got sandwiched. Kept in Buckles, threw it through the slot. It was behind the Highland. And now Papineau jumps on it. 3-on-2 for RPI if they hurry here. Drop pass. Peterson a shot. That hit a skate. Never got to Reed.
She had Taylor Waters on the back door as well.
Zaherney. Bit of a dangerous pass with Gilmore closing in. Now Zaherney going to stick handle out of danger and throw it off the wall for Asia Taylor Walters. Buckles lost an edge, trying to shield the puck away from Fries Hansen. Now Erbinova. Magdalena trying to get off a quick snapshot. That was blocked down. Taylor Walters. Now Buckles for Harvard. Bloomer back. Sent along off of Della Rovere. Turned around by Julia Blitz just off the bench. Then she loses it. Della Rovere on the move. Looking for that right post. Missed wide. Wagner ahead into the skates of Blitz. Trying to get it back. And a good back check by Bloomer. Engineers have good numbers back, but the shot still fluttered wide off the stick of Gilmore. Good connection on the outlet for Weiss. She leads the rush into the zone. Wagner and Weiss just a little bit too quick with the feet.
Yeah, she kind of passed behind her.
It wasn't a bad idea. She just didn't slow it up and all. And Wagner, who was waiting for that pass, couldn't get in. 2-0 Harvard here. Becca Gilmore picking up the power play goal for Harvard to make it 2-0. Shannon Hollins also tallying tonight her 4th of the season. Hollins sent behind. Gabby Davidson-Adams. Bayard back to the point, and that kind of handcuffed Biotti at the point. Mia Biotti, freshman from Cambridge, Mass. Didn't have to go far to find Bright Landry Hockey Center.
Right around the corner.
Larson. Taylor Walters, excuse me. Putting the pressure on. Knocked down Sorkin. Nice pinch by Larson to keep it alive. And now Taylor Walters will swing it around. Trying to find Price. Loose puck, top of the zone. Zaherney gambled and at least slowed Harvard down trying to break out of the zone. They do eventually get it deep, however. Taylor Walters. Pass was behind her. Turned around by the Crimson. They're offside as Petrie couldn't get back across the line. 1:38 to go first period. Still 2-0 Harvard here at the Houston Fieldhouse. Final weekend of regular season hockey on the women's side, and should have a couple of good ones today. RPI hosting Harvard tonight here and Dartmouth tomorrow. Buckvick. We're onside, I guess. Looked like Capel might have snuck over early, but linesman says no. Highland turned it over, and Capel put it wide. Just kind of gifted the puck there in the middle of the zone. Inside the final minute of the opening frame. Dumped in by Jovanovic. Dalby across for Weiss. Weiss, good outlet pass, finds Blitz. She'll chip it off the end wall and try and chase after it. Beaten to it by Biotti. Now cross-ice feed there. Doesn't connect. Looking for Bloomer. 18 to go in the period. Delarovere centering. Flipped out of danger by Larson, and it gets out of the zone. Delarovere back to play. Jenna McDonald. Chip deep. Rampado. Off for Price, and that'll do it for the opening period here. Shots are 7-5 after 20 minutes. Faceoffs 8-7, both in favor of Harvard. The Crimson scored on their only power play shot. It was Becca Gilmore scoring her 18th of the year. As the Crimson will take a 2-0 lead into the first intermission. Coach, thoughts on the opening frame there?
I thought it was pretty evenly played, both by Harvard and RPI. The only difference is two quality shots, well placed, and end up in the back of the net, and that's the difference right now.
We'll step aside here from the Houston Fieldhouse and be back with the second. You're watching RPI Women's Hockey on RPI TV and ESPN. Second period about to get underway here at the Houston Fieldhouse. RPI and Harvard. ECAC hockey on RPI TV and ESPN. Perilous Garris here with Coach Dan Fridge, and only 2 games left, less than that now in the women's hockey season here for RPI.
Season goes quick, and
Yeah.
I'm sure for the seniors, the 4 years have gone even quicker.
Absolutely.
For some, 5.
Well, I'll say, of all of the of all of the classes, this probably went the slowest for some of them because there was no hockey last year, and there's a good race for the puck here. Although Phillip just lost an edge at the end, trying to track this down. There was a couple of slow years in there, but at the end of the day, it all feels fast, I guess. RPI looking to pick up its 10th win of the season. They obviously have 2 cracks at it here, playing tomorrow. But they're looking to come back against the team they were able to come back against earlier this season, so they have to have confidence in that regard. That even down by a couple, they've been in this situation before. Janke trying to break her way in. She draws a penalty. She draws a penalty here on Mia Biotti. Nice job just moving her feet by the diminutive Janke. They're going to get Janke for a penalty?
Wow. That's interesting.
That's a terrible call.
There's another look at it. That is not a real good feeling, too, as a player, when you get up thinking the other person's taking the penalty and it's you.
Well.
Yep. What I was referring to is how quickly the 4 years go is when you look back and you're a freshman, you're thinking, oh boy, I'm a freshman, you know, here we go, and then it's like, here I am, a senior.
I guess I take it back. I thought they were going to call her for embellishment, which would have been a weird one. They called her for hooking, which I guess is a little bit more palatable because I couldn't see her stick. Obviously, the ref had a better situation. So I take back what I said. I thought they were giving her embellishment without a hook the other way. Now Buckvik's going to poke this loose.
Nice smart stick by Buckvik.
Yeah, almost sprung herself on a break shorthanded. Second power play chance here for Harvard. Slap shot coming over the top. That was Courtney Highland. Sent back to the blue line. Willoughby lost the handle. Gives it back to Bloomer. Pad save there by Rampado. Willoughby. Gilmore. Another one might have glanced off the shoulder of Rampado on its way through.
Official missed that interference call. Knocked the stick out of Wagner's hand.
I missed it too, so. Bloomer. Wrapped around for Gilmore on her backhand. Didn't have a whole lot of options there, but does get it deep. Thompson. Sent back to the line. McDonald, a wrister, hammers off the end boards. Gilmore again, 10 to go on the Harvard power play. Tight angle shot up high, save Rampado. She's caught on at least to what Harvard's trying to do. Another shot turned away by Rampado, and now out to center. The Engineers back to even. Papineau lost it at the line. RPI will have to reset. And it was deflected, so no icing. Biotti. High off the glass and down the ice. Is knocked down by Weiss. She has to fend off some pressure there. They get a shot away. Rampado makes the initial save. Puck goes behind to the near point. Another shot stop. Rebound, and that puts wide. Put wide there by Davidson Adams.
Yeah, good job by Price tying up sticks in front of the net.
Harvard got some good news at the intermission. The team there chasing Yale, trailing Quinnipiac 2-1 at the break in the first. Now trying to flip it up inside. A good save by Rampado there. As these Harvard forwards, very skillful around the net. We've seen them make a number of nice stick handle moves to create a shot where there maybe wasn't one initially.
Yeah, they got pretty quick hands. They moved that puck around real well. And to the fans at home, we just want to clarify that we did take a look at that.
Oh, we did. Yeah,
goal.
you're right.
Yep. And it was definitely in.
Yeah. Off the inside of the right post and then actually hit netting. It was just shot so hard, it looked like it hit a second post. On the shot by Gilmore, who can really bring it. Point shot Willoughby, that's blocked by Blitz. And shot into the bench.
Oh, boy, Blitz was just making a cut in behind the defense, hoping to get that puck. Had it been on her stick, she might have had a partial breakaway. Unfortunately, the pass went into the Harvard bench.
That one bouncing across the slot. Petrie had a crack at it.
Interesting, Petrie, Beverly Hills High School.
Yeah, they got a couple of Californians. One of them, Moy's not playing. She was at the Olympic team who just fell to Canada in the gold medal game.
Yeah, wasn't the goaltender for Canada a Harvard grad?
Yeah, Emmerich Mashmeyer.
Yes. Boy, you know your players.
She didn't play. Yeah, she's 2016 grad from Harvard. There's a, hold on here, Janke lifting a shot high and wide. Mashmeyer didn't play in the finals. I think she played in 2 games for Canada.
Right. But she still has a gold medal.
Oh, not taking that away from her, sure, no. Keely Moy is the defender who must have either not made it back in time or just not dressed for this one, but she was a U.S. Olympian for the Crimson. A couple of men's players, too, on the Olympic Club.
Yep.
Abrazizi, I think, is one of them. Nick. RPI men will see Abrazizi and the Crimson next weekend at home. Point shot, it's just knocked down by Fries Hansen. Speaking of Olympians. Lily playing her second game back from the Beijing Games after helping Denmark win their first Olympic game. Taylor Walters into the zone, flips one on goal. Sticked away easily by Reed into the corner. She really hasn't been tested too much today by RPI. This is going to be icing here on the Crimson.
Yeah, that's RPI's first shot of the period.
Nope, no icing. Not sure how.
That's a good question.
There was a shot from the blue line here.
And that's offside.
That's offside. Anyway, 13:04 to go, second period. Harvard, there's 7 losses this year. All but one have been to at a currently ranked team. The one that wasn't was Yale early on before Yale was ranked. Now Yale's in first place in the league. So, I mean, they don't have any bad losses this year. I think that's one thing you can say about this Harvard club. And they've beat everyone on their schedule that they've played except for Colgate and Minnesota Duluth. Colgate swept a season series, and Minnesota Duluth in a non-league took 2 from the Crimson. Other than that, they have beaten every team, so they've at least split with every ECAC hockey team, other than Colgate, who was, again, another great team.
Yeah.
So there's no bad marks on their schedule. They haven't had that clunker of a game.
Right.
They almost let RPI come back, and we're not going to say anything bad about RPI, of course.
Right.
We said RPI made a good comeback, but
yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, if you're a Crimson fan, you can say, "Oh, they almost let that one get away against RPI," but this is an RPI team on the up and up. So I think in any ECAC hockey game, you have to think, doesn't matter who they are, they're going to give you a run on any given night. And I think what makes this league so good, especially on the women's side, is you have.
Yeah, they lost to Colgate back in October, 5-4 in overtime, and then 3-1 to Yale in November.
Engineers got away with a penalty there. Didn't see who that was, but surely interference. There's a shot that goes wide. No call on that play. And now, good save by Rampado in close on Bayard. Hollins, circle shot, save Rampado. Rebound going to be cleaned up by Zaherney. Sent all the way down the ice. Back comes Harvard into the zone. Centering pass from Lester, tipped to the near side. Severson will try and play it out. Wagner lost it. Sorkin back to grab it. One career goal in 114 games for Sydney Sorkin. It'll trickle in. Played by Reed. Good forecheck by Wagner. Breaks it up. Janke trying to give it back to her. And that pass was just on the wrong side for Wagner to handle. Weiss falls down, turning into a 2-on-1, but Tegan Dalby helps out and cuts off the play nicely.
Yeah, real nice play by Dalby in that situation there, tying up her one-on-one situation.
Tegan's had to handle top D pairing minutes since her freshman year 2 years ago out of Burlington, Ontario. Playing in her 30th game of the year. Kaiser on the move. Shot sticked away by Reed. McCutcheon. 11 points for Audrey this year, 7 goals and 4 assists in her first season as an Engineer. Thompson. Jovanovic. Fries Hansen picks up for the Engineers. Lifting it off the wall. Can't get it by the first forechecker. That was Gilmore. Sent down ice. Ward Jenna McDonald will pick up. First year blue liner out of Walpole, Massachusetts. Works it ahead. Bloomer into the zone. Buckvick lost it behind the net to Delarovere. Bloomer again. Back to Delarovere trying to center, bouncing puck. And it's flipped on goal. Rampado might have got her left pad on that. Buckvick will try the wall for Capel. Senior captain Michaela Capel playing in her final 2 home games. And trying to strip it away from Buckles. That's not an easy task. Now a stretch pass here and good defensive stick. Or the Crimson might have had a breakaway. That was Gilmore, the last one you want on the break. Now Peterson the other way, turns and flips one towards goal. Shot in the right pad, saved by Reed. Oh, denying Phillip there. It was a good save. Back come the Crimson. 1-on-3. Spooner trying to backhand it in front.
Yeah, she got the big left pad out, long leg to negate that scoring opportunity.
So the Engineers nearly draw to within 1 there if it wasn't for the right pad of Lindsay Reed. Shot deflects to the near side, and Rampado's going to cover up as Price was upended by Davidson Adams.
Yeah, it looked like the Harvard player was going for the puck, and Price's legs happened to be in the way. There's another look at it.
Yeah, it could have been much worse.
Oh, yeah. Actually just trying to get offensive body position.
Right. Yeah, luckily Price's legs weren't stuck to the ice there because it was dangerous, and you kind of cut next to a player's knees like that. Looked to be inadvertent, but luckily everyone's okay after that collision. Shows snow shovelers and teams at the bench trying to get along. That's what hockey's all about, Coach.
Yep.
Ice crew just trying to do their job, and just got to make way. 27 years the head coach of the Harvard Crimson, Katie Stone. She's taken a couple of breaks, of course, throughout her career to coach U.S. national teams and various tournaments. Has this Harvard club back to prominence in ECAC hockey. The Ivies have made a return. It was really the non-Ivies who had taken over for a number of years, whether it be Colgate or Clarkson being the St. Lawrence, being the top teams in the ECAC hockey. But with Yale and Harvard, Yale making a huge jump. I mean, the Yale women a couple years ago were towards the bottom of the league, out of the playoffs. Now they're fighting for the top spot. It's a good sign for teams like RPI trying to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Of course, the RPI women going from 0 wins 2 years ago to trying to pick up their 10th in the final weekend of this year. You could point to some spots on the schedule along the way that could have even been a better year for RPI if a couple of bounces had gone their way.
Yeah. I can think of a couple of games that I thought that they deserved a better fate, Princeton being one of them.
I mean, even if you just change the overtime format back to the way it used to be, RPI probably 3 or 4 fewer losses. They have not gotten along well with OT in the new 3-on-3 format, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a tough format. Usually doesn't last very long.
Right, it's a lot of breakaways, and you can't really play team defense in a 3-on-3 situation, and that's what the Engineers hockey teams really are built to do, right? You have 5 players on the ice. If you start taking them off, it can't really function the same way. It almost becomes a different sport. Shot there, trickles through, it's in the net. Could be Highlands if she got the last touch on it. If it is, it's the easiest goal she'll ever score. It's 3-0 Harvard.
Yeah, I think Rampato had it between her pads and then got up because she lost it.
Yeah. Another look at it. She made the save. Now, it was already trickling through.
Yep.
It might have even already gone over the line.
Yeah.
But Highland made sure.
Yeah, just went 5-hole, looks like here.
That's going to be Highland's goal, it looks like. I think she got a touch before it crossed the line. Courtney Highland picks up her first goal of the season, second of her career. This is just her 24th game this season. 3-0 Crimson. RPI's been in this situation before this year against this very same team. We'll see how they react this time. Good poke check there. Kaiser getting back into the play on Gilmore. Kaiser tried a little give and go there with McCutcheon. That didn't work. Kristen De La Rovere's shot. Puck out to center ice, and McDonald will track it down. De La Rovere. Stick handling. There's a one-timer. Good block by Dalby. Taylor Larson looks ahead. Asia Taylor-Walters trying to center. Nearly found Peterson, but it's Harvard back the other way. Davidson Adams flips it in. Back to the point. Buckles. Willoughby, a shot pad save. Rebound still loose. A couple of swipes at it. Not sure if a second shot came or not, but it's back out to neutral. Swept into the zone by Gabby Davidson-Adams. Price tried to give it back behind the goal, hit the referee. Biotti. Severson fell down, but finds Blitz anyway. Trying to send that one across, and was there a bit of a jumping into the attack there. Shot from the point, redirected on goal by Wagner. And we got a whistle here and a penalty. It's going to be a high stick.
On Harvard.
I didn't see it, but they're going to get Jenna McDonald, it looks like. First power play of the game for RPI. As McDonald sits. RPI 11.6% on the power play this season, 10 out of 86. Harvard penalty kill 84.2%. Chance for RPI to try and get back into this thing. Janke tried to spin it back to the point, but she was tied up, and now Buckles can try to clear, but threw it right to Blitz. Second try, Buckles, and now Erbinova throw it up the wall right to Thompson. Taze Thompson, shorthanded 2-on-1 across, and getting just enough of it there was Wagner defensively. Laying down in the slot. Now Gilmore shorthanded all by herself. Takes 3 engineers to finally pry that away from her. Played by Rampado. And that too far out in front of the intended target. It was touched, so no icing. And now Kate Glover will work it out near side all the way down. 56 seconds to go on the RPI power play. 3.5 to go. Back to the line. Larson to drive. That's what wide. Rebound. Oh, missed the net. Maddie Peterson looking for goal number 7. Just couldn't find it.
That net was wide open for her, too. Just shot it across the goal mouth.
Kaiser. Capel trying to jam it in. And it's going to be frozen under some bodies. Well, Peterson had a chance there on the power play.
Yeah, that puck came off. It was wide. Came off the boards, backboards real quick right here.
Yeah.
And then she has the open net and just couldn't.
She had the tying goal the last time these two teams met. It made it 3-3 late in the third. Now a shot from Dolby. Deflected wide. Good power play, though, from the Engineers right now. There's a shot fired wide again. That time it was Buckvik.
Harvard returns to full strength.
Well, they had a good couple opportunities there. Just didn't capitalize.
Thompson plays it behind. And now Buckles. Oh, we got a penalty coming up.
And it looks like that's going to be on.
I think it's on the Engineers.
Yeah.
I think it has to be.
Right here. Taylor Walters?
I think they got Papineau.
Papino.
I don't know. roughing. Okay. Willoughby. Deflected in. Thompson makes it 4-0. Another power play goal for the Crimson, their second of the game, right off the draw. And for Taze Thompson, that's her 8th goal of the season. Right through the wickets on Rampado.
Yep.
Perfect deflection.
Right off the face-off. Those face-off wins are important. She might have even got an assist on her own goal because it went to the defense shot. She tipped it after winning the draw.
4-0 Crimson leading here. And you're so close to pulling back a goal on their power play. And it's Harvard adding on in their first chance to do so at the other end. Friis Hansen out of Lyngby, Denmark, working it ahead. Turned around by Biotti. Thompson shoots this in. Dalby looking for Kaiser. Friis Hansen to center. Sorkin back the other way. Dumping it in with 45 to go in the period. Dalby. Trying to find Kaiser. That pass was behind her. This will be chopped into the zone. Marina McDonald, Jr. from Port Alberni, British Columbia. Dalby trying to get there with 6. One more chance maybe for the Crimson. As the horn will sound, and it's Harvard picking up 2 more goals here in the second period, including another power play tally. They lead 4-0 over RPI after 40 minutes of play. And Coach, a lot of times it is a game of inches, and momentum. Talk about not being existing. To a certain extent you can say that, but after RPI doesn't score in their power play and Harvard goes down and makes it 4, it's a completely different game than it could have been going to this intermission.
Yeah, it's just, the offensive opportunities that Harvard have gotten, they've capitalized on, and RPI has just come real close on the one, especially on the power play, and it just comes down to execution. You score that goal, now you're only behind by 2, and who knows what happens after that. But right now, RPI's got a big hole to overcome here, and they've got 20 minutes to do it. That's a good thing.
All right, we'll be back with that third period in just a few. You are watching RPI Women's Hockey on RPI TV and ESPN. Third period here, about to get underway. RPI and number 7 Harvard from the Houston Fieldhouse. Crimson scoring a pair of power play goals so far. They're 2 for 3 on the power play against the Engineers' top 10 in the nation penalty kill. And that's kind of been the story here. RPI's offense has gone cold as well, as they are approaching, I think, 200 minutes without a goal. $175 minutes without a goal for RPI. Trying to end that here.
Yes.
Maybe
that would be nice.
Create some momentum they can take into tomorrow afternoon's season finale against the Big Green of Dartmouth. RPI wins the faceoff. We're underway in the third. Michaela Capel battling for the puck along the wall. Becca Gilmore looking to center, throws it all the way through. Phillip to the wall, but not out. Shot blocked by Erbinova. And Magdalena will throw it ahead for Phillip. Nice pass onto the tape, flipping it deep. Buckvik to the point, intercepted. Now Gilmore trying to race ahead. Becca Gilmore, breakaway. Gilmore put it wide. Looking for goal number 2. Now she'll walk it in front again. Wraparound try. Through a pass. Looking for Thompson. And she was wrapped up. Couldn't get that shot away, but Gilmore showing off the wheels there. Just splits the D.
That's certainly something you want to make sure you're managing the puck in the offensive zone. You don't want to be sending Harvard on breakaways like that.
Anytime you throw that cross-ice pass at the top of the zone, you're kind of asking for it. It's like one of those quick out in football. You're just asking for a pick 6 there, and that's almost what we got from Becca Gilmore.
Yeah, she's the one you don't want to have on a breakaway.
Yeah, please don't. She kind of created that breakaway, though. Long shot blocked by Larson. Lifted off the boards by Phillip. Nice job by the Crimson to touch up in a hurry. They go back on the attack. Thompson intercepted again by Larson, high off the glass. Biotti just will not let that puck by her. At the point, Jovanovic. Biotti shoots it in. Petrie trying to step away from Price. That's poked loose by Chorsky to the point, and that falls right into the arms of Rampado, who holds on here. 2 minutes gone here in the third period. 4-0 Harvard on top.
I'm getting a chuckle out of the official that's going to drop the puck. He got caught up over on the wall, and he's been saying, where was I supposed to go the whole time? He hasn't stopped.
Well, I can't help him.
No, not at all. It's not like you can climb up on the boards like you used to be able to without the glass.
Chorsky has it poked away. Brianna Janke. Allen, Texas native, works it ahead. Nice job to shield the puck. Trying to hand it off there. That was Dalby joining the rush. She goes down awkwardly behind the goal. Wagner back in place of Dalby defending. Does a pretty good job of steering Petrie to the outside.
Yeah, that would have been a tough pass for Dalby to handle, considering she's a left-hand shot.
Taylor Walters, and now Wagner goes over the line offside. Didn't matter as Taylor Walters had it knocked away. Hollins gets run into by Zaherney. And now played along for Taylor Zaherney. Junior from Newtown, Pennsylvania. Now a bouncing puck loose, and they score! It's Asia Taylor Walters
Finally, they get a break, and it looked like a broken play. Goaltender wasn't able to corral it. Here it is. It just goes off the skate of one of the defenders of Harvard, and in comes Taylor Walters, and she kind of whiffed on it. I think the puck was rolling, but it got up over top of the goaltender, and RPI is on the board.
Got just enough of it, did Taylor Walters. Her second goal of the season. She also scored in the Mayor's Cup. Picked up an insurance tally against Union in a 2-0 win. But more importantly here, gets RPI on the board. Still a lot of time left, over 16 minutes. If the Engineers have thoughts about another, they can make this one interesting. Capel walking her way in. Capel a backhand save, and it's held onto by Reed.
RPI's offense starting to come to life here. Like you say, there's lots of time.
RPI men's hockey is underway. They're in Providence taking on Brown. They're scoreless after one period. Weiss flipping it down low. McDonald, she's tied up. Highland.
RPI goal was scored by number 19, Asia Taylor Walters. She was assisted by number 28, Maddie
Dalby trying to track this down. It's going to be icing.
and by number 39, Maddie Peterson. Time of that goal, 3 minutes, 13 seconds. RPI goal by 19, Taylor Walters, her second of the season, from 28, Pacino, and 39, Peterson, at 3:13.
Janke had her pass broken up. Now McDonald for the Crimson. Thompson ahead for Highland. Throws it all the way through. Wagner had Jovanovic actually wrapped up there. Now Severson on for Zaherney. Taken away by Sorkin.
Currently with 18 minutes left in the third, Quinnipiac's up 3-1 on Yale.
Good news for Crimson fans. Wagner shot blocked. Janke back to the point. Severson twisting and turning. Lost it. Little drop pass here. Petrie a shot at a blocker save by Rampado. Long try off of a shin pad. Papineau tried to make a move. And she'll drop it back for Zaherney. Price. High in the air. Broken up in the neutral zone. Kicked at, but it was behind Davidson Adams. So if those results hold and RPI isn't able to come back, Harvard would take over sole possession of first place in the league with one game to go against the last place Union Dutchwomen tomorrow. That's how crucial that game is for Harvard. They can control their own destiny for the number one spot in the league if the Bobcats hold on against Yale there. Good block at the blue line. Now Kaiser.
By the way Harvard is playing, it's almost like they're aware of that situation.
Spun down low by Kaiser. Turning with it is Lily Fries Hansen. She's getting held up. There's going to be a penalty. Could see that one coming. Yep. Hollins had grabbed a hold of Lily Fries Hansen, and you can only do that for so long before the penalty gets called.
Yeah, you have to, if you're going to do that, you release. You can't be impeding. And to Fries Hansen's credit, she kept her feet moving as well.
Power play number 2 for RPI. They're 0 for 1. had a couple of good chances on their power play. Remember the Peterson opportunity. We're not able to convert.
6 minutes, 20 seconds. 22 of Harvard Collins on hold at 6:20.
He's thrown right at Maddie Peterson, the junior, from Princeton, Minnesota, the lone Minnesotan on the RPI club. I'm sure there are folks who are tired of me saying that, but you only have one more day of me saying that, at least till next year. When I'm hopeful that the Engineers can add, 8 to 10 Minnesotans. Here's Rihanna Jenke moving her way in. I guess there's not that many spots, but we can always dream. Blitz trying to feed it down low to Severson. Now Erbinova. Severson. One of the grad students and leaders on this team, Lauren Severson, wears the A. Shot down low, save, rebound, Jenke a try, and it's going to be covered up by Reed. RPI's power play looking pretty good there, generating some opportunities.
Yeah. Just need to capitalize here. Another look at it. Quick shot by Blitz there. Rebound. And it's frozen by the Harvard goaltender, Reed.
Still a power play for RPI, another 35 seconds. Trying to keep it in the zone. And it's forced out by the Crimson. Shots are 28-15 Harvard. As Petrie steals it away, and the shot hits the iron. Brooke Jovanovic wide open in front. After the Engineers bench and fans were pleading for a penalty call behind the goal.
That went right off the crossbar.
Yeah. Erbinova just got upended there by Petrie.
I think the referee felt that she was playing the puck.
Yeah, that was definitely a 50-50 play. Not a clear-cut penalty by any means, but when it generates a scoring chance like that, the fans are going to be feeling like they were wronged there. If it's if it's a nothing play after that, nobody really cares. But the fact that it created a chance for Jovanovic and she hit the iron with it. Harvard back to even. RPI 0 for 2 on the power play. Taylor Walters, who just picked up RPI's first goal in on 180 plus minutes. Back out there, putting the pressure on. Saherney now up ice, trying to make a play. Hollins. Shot save, Rampato. Rebound still loose in the circle. And McCutcheon trying to get out of danger, gets as far as the blue line. McDonald, a shot saved by Rampato. She'll hold on to it with Lester right in her face. Tough to see that, let alone hold it for Rampato. That's why she's one of the best in a league of very good goalies.
Yeah, she held on to that puck, which was a good thing because you had Harvard sitting right on the doorstep. And she was able to make that save through a lot of traffic.
Another shot comes in, right pad stop on the try by Bloomer. Shot and a save by Reed on the blocker. Delarover to center ice, and Gilmore just across the line a little early. Gonna draw a whistle here. 28 stops for Amanda Rampato, who 2 years ago went 0-11. She was splitting time back then with Anna Nystrom, who has since gone on, transferred to Mercyhurst, and it's been Rampato taking over as the lead role here. Shot in from center, and she's given her team a chance to win just about every night, and that's all you can really ask for. Also following in the footsteps of Lovisa Solander as the all-time NCAA saves leader. Gilmore's shot over the top as Rampato came way out of the net to cut down the angle.
Nice play there by Gilmore. It's a 2-on-2, and rather than what you're supposed to do is cross on the 2-on-2 to confuse the defense, and she certainly did that. As you saw, she had a wide open shot by cutting to the middle.
Wagner flipping it along, trying to get on the end of this. She can't get by Sorkin. McDonald lost in her skates, but finds it. It'll be lifted out to neutralize Larson, trying to get there. Highland with speed, trying to chase her down. Wagner ahead for for Severson, excuse me. Severson into the zone, pulls up, drops it back for Wagner. She goes down. It's spun out and all the way down. Will it be icing? No, they wave it off. Papineau goes cross ice behind Janke. Poked away by Jovanovic. Chorsky trying to center. That's broken up. Jovanovic again. Chorsky created some space but never got the shot off. She had some net to shoot at as Rampata was kind of leaning the wrong way. Played behind by Petrie. Back to the point. Willoughby. Shot deflects. Maybe hit Larson, went wide. Petrie again. Price helps it to the near side. Severson takes a look. Engineers in need of a line change. Will move it out to center off of Janke. She'll try to at least get the puck deep so RPI can get that change. Nope, she'll stick handle a bit.
Then she'll dump it in.
Yeah, as I say, I should
you,
never assume that Janke's going to dump a puck in. I'll tell you that.
I think what she wanted to do is hammer it on goal, but couldn't get the handle on that.
Can't assume that a Janke's going to do anything but maybe stick handle a little bit before moving the puck. Both of them very gifted puck handlers, Mika and Rihanna. Good breakup at the line. Penalty coming up. It's going to be a trip. RPI is going to get its third power play chance here with 7:32 to go in the third.
Well, that wasn't a... She has control of the puck right here and then gets checked and then takes the feet out.
And Lester probably thought she was tripped right before that.
Yeah.
And then returned the favor, but more often than not, it's the retaliation that gets the call. So Paige Lester, freshman from Oakville, Ontario, to the penalty box. This will even up the power play chances in the game, although Harvard has taken full advantage. 2 of 3 with the extra player for Harvard today. RPI 0 for 2 so far. They've generated pretty good chances. I mean, Harvard's PK came into the game around 84%, and if you're Coach Katie Stone or her staff, you'd probably like to see that number a little higher. High 80s is where you want to be.
Yeah.
Mid to low 80s, you're getting to the point where it's a little bit of an issue.
Yep.
And when you're looking at the teams that they're going to go up against with the Quinnipiacs and the Colgates of the world, you want that. First of all, you don't want to take any penalties, but when you do, you want your PK to kind of bail you out there.
Oh, this is the time of year. Playoffs coming around.
That's Chorsky's chance again. Just got knocked off her stick because she had some net to shoot at.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is at this time of year, that's when special teams are huge. They can win and lose you hockey games.
Ready to drop the puck on RPI's third power play here. Cleared out immediately by the Crimson. Blitz. And now Erbinova. Sophomore Magdalena Erbinova drops it off for Wagner. Across for Janke. Janke into the zone. Finding Blitz. Blitz lost it there, but backing up on the play was Erbinova to play it down low for Severson. She overskates. Chance to clear for Glover. And it's fed right back. McDonald with Blitz pinching, and it's shot down the ice.
Blitz has to come down the wall there to take the boards away. That's the only option to take that puck.
Quinnipiac still leading Yale 3-1 halfway through the third period. So for the time being, Harvard has to feel pretty good about their chances for a regular season title here. Killing off this penalty would go a long way as well. Peterson back for Erbinova. Oh, off the stick of Capel. Shorthanded chance here. Put wide by Thompson. And now Gilmore. She's had a couple of shorthanded opportunities here tonight. 30 seconds to go on RPI's third power play. Taylor Larson moves it ahead. Sophomore from Bolton, Ontario. Off for Peterson. Peterson driving her way behind the goal. Has it poked away. And a clearing effort into the skates of Larson. Willoughby. She'll feed it ahead. Chance for a 2-on-1. Shorthanded. Across. And a stop there by Rampado. As she denies Petrie. Petrie pointing at the net. She thinks she scored. Where's the puck? Gonna have to see that again. Dominique Petrie goes forehand, backhand, and it's underneath Rampado's chest, it looks like.
I couldn't see anything from here.
I think that stayed out. I think you can see the puck here. Watch it right here. Right underneath her chest.
Yeah.
That's a save and a good one for Amanda Rampado. On a shorthanded break, a 2-on-1. Just another in the long list of highlight reel saves for Rampado this year. Great job by our RPI TV crew, as always, to get us a good slow motion look at that shot. Good pressure by Nia Phillip, nearly forces a turnover right in front of the net. Centering pass, Buckvik. We'll leave it behind, and Papineau. Engineers are the only ones skating right now. Causing problems here for the Crimson, who are just reacting to the point. Zaherny gives it off for Papineau. Another dangerous cross-ice feed, but it gets to Dolby. Now Dolby behind the goal. Gets some help from Wagner. That's pried away by Glover. And the Crimson will try and clear it out, but Zaherny. Good battle by Taylor. 4:20 to go. Centering pass looking for Janke, but it's gloved by Reed. As that was, I think it was Severson trying to throw that centering pass in front.
Yeah, she had Janke wide open in front of the net. That could have been a nice low pass as opposed to something that Reed was able to play. They would have had a real good scoring opportunity.
McCutcheon couldn't find it. Gilmore playing it ahead. Bloomer with speed gets there first. Chipped off the glass and out to center ice. McDonald. That's Jenna. Turns it up the wall. Now it's thrown to an open wing. Bloomer. Trying to turn the corner on Erbinova. Now she'll play it back to the point. McDonald. Shot deflected over the top. Larson. Played along. Too far for McCutcheon. Slap shot McDonald. Save Rampado. She'll hold on. Amanda up over 30 saves now in the game.
Yeah, she saw that all the way in, at top of her crease. Not much traffic in front. Oh, yeah, she does have traffic.
Yeah, Bloomer was there. 3.5 to go. Shot wide from Buckles.
Just looking back, Rampado's had to make some real good saves as far as making sure there aren't any rebounds Harvard's always got somebody sitting there for a rebound.
Phillip flying up ice, throws a centering pass into a dangerous area. And a couple of teammates around, but neither could get their stick on it. Turned around by the Crimson. Thompson poked away. Blocker stopped by Rampado. Under 3 to go. Willoughby. Price turns it around. Hannah Price, recently named a finalist for the Hockey Humanitarian Award. One of 5 in the country. With the winner to be announced at the Men's Frozen Four in April.
That's awesome.
Great opportunity there for just folks to learn more about Hannah Price and what she's been able to do for not only her community here in Troy, but also back in her hometown of Pittsburgh. Big advocate for feeding the less fortunate, and carry that over here to what she's been able to do with RPI and a number of other projects. A blood drive that just finished up last week, I think, along with the American Red Cross.
I saw she did some reading with the kids over
Oh,
School
yeah.
14.
They did some virtual reading, too, when they weren't able to meet in person. Something that the RPI Student Athlete Advisory Committee has been a big part of, getting their kids out from all across all sports to get out and read with some elementary school age kids. But yeah, what Hannah was doing during the pandemic is huge, because obviously RPI is not playing.
Right.
So she was just getting out, probably had more time, for better or for worse, not playing hockey, right? Not practicing, not able to do any of those things. Getting out into the community and doing even more. Here's a shot comes in, saved by Reed. Rebound still loose. We get a whistle. Wagner. She didn't know it was loose either. Neither did the referee. He was behind Reed there and didn't see the puck was on the ice, but whistle went anyway. Can't really blame him for that.
Yeah, it drops down. It's still pretty. It's still loose.
Right, and the whistle goes here, but
yeah.
he clearly can't see that it is loose there. So.
And that's the old rule of thumb for the referee. You lose sight.
Yep.
Whistle goes.
Looking for the deflection there and the shot from Larson. Under a minute and a half left here. Shot in, blocker save Rampado. Wagner went sliding into the goal.
Doesn't count.
No. Also the wrong one. Jovanovic off the skate of Highland.
This is the final minute of play. Last minute of play.
1 minute left in the third. And this is going to be an icing. No, offside. There are 5 minutes left in Hamden, Connecticut, where Quinnipiac leads Yale in the battle for Connecticut. And a chance for Harvard to go top spot in ECAC hockey. .30 here. Backhander save on the glove by Reed. That was Kaiser flipping one on goal. Engineers have really picked up their shots here in this third period, and it's turned into a goal. No surprise there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're up to 19. They've had some good opportunities this period.
Yeah, shots in the period are only 13-8 Harvard, so RPI's certainly their best frame in that department. Face-offs are 27-19 Crimson. 17 seconds to go. McCutcheon into the zone. Weiss turning and firing one wide. And we got a whistle. The puck's off, or the net's off, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that was Severson that went into the post.
Yeah. Lily Fries-Hansen, I think, is the one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. 7.
I saw the 7.
You saw the 7.
I can't see the
two?
ones or the twos.
I guess that happens. Oh, yeah, she got kind of.
Yeah, she did.
Got bumped into that by Bloomer.
Railroaded. They call that railroaded.
2 seconds to go and 1. That'll do it here. Harvard with a big win in their hopes to lock up the home ice advantage to the ECAC hockey tournament. And they're one step closer here. They'll head back and scoreboard watch the final few moments of that Quinnipiac-Yale game. But if everything holds, they will have control of their own destiny as far as that goes, being a point ahead of Yale going into the final game of the year tomorrow. And if they take care of business against Union, they'll have that top spot. So have to imagine that's certainly in the front of their minds now after the final horn here.
Yeah, exactly. And from RPI's perspective, they've got senior afternoon.
Senior day.
You know, I think it's important that they build off this. When you look at it, they won the third period, 1-0. So to carry that over to tomorrow's game and end the season on a winning note.
Certainly an opportunity to get to double-digit wins and sweep a season series with the Dartmouth Big Green, a team that's had their number throughout the history of this series. And of course, didn't get a chance to talk about it in this game, but RPI's had some very big wins over Harvard in their history. Probably the biggest win ever in school history came against Harvard back in 2009, but that'll have to wait for another day. Your final score here is Harvard 4, RPI 1. For our entire RPI TV crew and Dan Fridgen, I'm Perry Lascaris. We thank you for watching tonight's game. Your final score from the Houston Fieldhouse, the 7th-ranked Harvard Crimson 4 and the RPI Engineers 1. You've been watching live coverage of RPI hockey on RPI TV and ESPN.